It's that time of year. Worth calendar. Looks like it's going to be a good year. Nice. Not being sexist or anything. You know, if I had a six-pack, I'd quit my day job and be a model as well. Kudos. Anyways, happy 2019. Second day of 2019 at work. 3:18. The tradition continues. Oh, joyous me. 2006 Jetta, intermittent electrical issues with the driver control side of the door, opening, closing windows, unlocking or locking all the doors, intermittent response, and also, for instance, window here, driver window, it just clicks. You can hear the relay inside clicking. But the window doesn't do anything. So first suspect is always a door harness. Already removed it here. Sorry, the car's on the hoist. I can't open the door fully, but I think you'll be able to see there's a bunch of broken wires in here. There you go. So the driver door is the most used, constantly opening, closing, and that's flexing, and it's causing all these wires to break. Hopefully it'll focus. That would be a good shot here. Yeah, so you can see a bunch of wires that are broken, and there's also communication wires, etc. A full system scan can sometimes point towards an issue like this, but anyways, this one's gonna get a door harness provided he goes for it. If your engine is misfiring or running rough intermittently when it's raining or moisture, high humidity outside, take a water spray bottle, put some ammonia in it or any other type of secondary solution. Water alone is not a good conductor. And then what you do is you just spray the ignition coil. And you can already see it running rough. And you can see the sparks. So those components are compromised. And then just drying it off again. And you can see it's running smooth and no more arcing. So there shouldn't be any arcing when stuff gets wet. You should actually be able to hold these wires in your hand. You shouldn't be able to get shocked. Same thing with the water solution. You should be able to spray all those components, and the engine should continue to run smooth. If it doesn't, those components are compromised. There's water in this module. You can see the water right there. But I'm just going to shake it and you can probably hear it. Hopefully you heard that. The other module as well for the AFS. 2000 something Jetta 1.8 turbo. Customers here for what feels like a misfire. The weird part is that the check engine light doesn't flash. There's no misfire code stored. But as soon as you put it under load, there's definitely some kind of where it feels like a misfire. I just lowered the vehicle because I thought maybe it was a drive shaft, inner drive shaft. Could still be, I don't know. But anyways, I'm just going to take it for another drive now with the scan tool attached. The first time I didn't have anything attached. But before going on the test drive, I figured I'd check a couple of things. Oil level, for instance, no oil on the dipstick. So that's one thing. And then I had a quick look around over here, and this is what I spotted. It's a brand new serpentine belt tensioner. But look at how it's sitting on the belt. It's sitting cockeyed. And the reason it's cockeyed is because this metal bracket is supposed to be on this side of the tensioner. So it's sitting skewed because of this metal piece. So I got to take the tensioner off,
and then move this piece on this side, and then I can bolt it back together. Customer drove it here like this. I'm sure it'll be fine like this as well while I'm driving it on my second test drive. But you know, sometimes they're here for one thing, but you end up doing a bunch of other stuff first. Oil level's okay now. Added almost 3 liters of oil. Serpentine belt tensioner. I just moved the power steering reservoir to get better access to it. So the tensioner is sitting correctly now. Actually, here you can see, here's the metal bracket. So instead of being squished here, it's on this side. And what happened is, because it's there's this bolt and the other bolt over here, we're squishing this plate. The bottom bolt was making up the difference. So the tensioner, instead of sitting like this, was sitting like this, if that makes sense. And you can see it now, sitting right where it's supposed to sit. So anyways, now I can take it for a run, see if it still does what it does with the scan tool attached. It feels like a misfire, but it may not be. And I don't think the tensioner would be able to cause that kind of vibration, so I'm probably thinking drive shaft, but the drive shafts don't feel that bad. There's a bit of play on the inners, but anyways, we'll see. Most of you guys are not going to like this. Well, the fact that it's snap-on, most of you guys don't like it anyways already, but this is me making marks so that I recognize that it's my gun. If it ever got stolen, there's no way that I'm not going to recognize that. And to be politically correct, I'm using snap-on touch-up paint. That's the paint that I got with my toolbox 10 years ago, going on 11 years, and it's still good. It's still liquid. So anyways, I'm gonna touch that up, and that's it. Now I know it's my gun. Can't return it now. This is another HID headlight assembly. That was, I guess, in an accident at one point. You can see there's a bunch of glued stuff here. Somebody did some repairs. Customer came in, said the headlight wasn't working, and then when pulling the headlight bulb out, my co-worker already smelled some kind of electrical smell, and sure enough, this is the headlight module that plugs into the bottom of the headlight assembly. You can see the crusties in here, more so over on this side, and all the burnt black area here. So water intrusion, a bulb alone and a module is not going to fix it. Or it would be a short-term fix. So we're getting a new assembly here, or a good used one. Even this here looks like it was glued. So anyways, that's 2 within 1 month. Here's another good example of uneven wear. You can see this pad here. You can see this pad here is slightly thinner than this one, and I can't even move this pad. They should come out really nice and simple. This one moves. This one's stuck. It's even worse on this side. There's hardly anything left here, and the pad's already lifting actually. So this side's also stuck, and that side seized for sure as well. And that's why sometimes I grind the pads a little bit down here. I know it's against the rules, it's not kosher, but I've never had any pads stick on any work that I did on the rear brakes. 2008 Q7 blower fan removal. Sorry I didn't record it. I left my glasses at home. So the blower fan is actually quite simple to remove. You don't have to remove this glove box. There's just 7 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's one more somewhere else up in here, but you'll see it from the bottom. So again, to just remove the blower motor, you do not have to remove the glove box. The reason I removed the glove box, there's 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, is to get at the power output stage. This guy right here. You can get through one of these bolts, or to one of these bolts through here. This was my first time trying to gain access to it, so I wasn't sure. So I went through this way first to remove this one bolt here. Then I realized you can't get at the second one here from underneath. So that's when I took the glove box out, and again, it's quite simple, just the 6 bolts. So anyways, there's a bolt right there. There's a bolt over here. And then this power output stage comes right out. And I can just unplug it and plug the new one in. The tricky part is you got to make sure for these bolts, they're 5.5 millimeter hexes. So it's an odd size. A 6 millimeter might grab it. It'll probably slip. I have 5.5s in a deep socket and in a regular socket. And then there's I think the blower fan ones are actually, sorry, the resistor pack or the power output stage is 6 millimeters. I don't know why they would switch it up. But anyways, 5.5 and 6 millimeter. T20 Torx for the glove box. T20 here, but again, you don't have to touch those if you're going to remove the glove box. Thanks for watching. 2008 2-liter FSI engine, BPY engine code, first generation of the FSIs, and direct injected crankshaft position sensor is located in a similar place as all the other prior generation engines. You can see there's a timing belt on this one behind that cover. So just to the right of the oil filter, that's actually the connector right there, and that's the sensor. Haven't had to change one yet. It's probably a pain in the ass. Work in progress. So working on the car. I need to finish off this cutout. Nice and quiet, as you can hear, the car is running. And demonstration again. So I need to figure something out. Either put a plate here that protects all of this, or I'm gonna put an elbow here. I have a piece of metal that I can, or a piece of pipe that I can maybe make an elbow out of. So updates to follow. Well, boys and girls, this is the finished product. Oh yeah, my PCV tube here. Don't mind the smoke. This is the finished product. Care of our apprentice. He made this for me for my birthday. Looking pretty skookum, swank. It's got a bit of a cutout here, or cut off. And here we go. Uh-oh, smoky. A little bit of water vapor there. Looking good. But while I had it up again, I noticed my clutch slave cylinder is leaking, so I won't be going home early today. I'm gonna replace the slave cylinder. I wanted to bleed it because the pedal felt a little funky. Now I know why. So the slave cylinder is shot. Goes to show you, whenever you do a clutch job, go all the way, do everything. Anyways, weekends here, gonna have some fun. There's B7 Audi, straightening both intercoolers. This one's already stopped. There's the hole. This one, nothing. Still worth checking. There's the hole right here. And as always, I plug them with a screw. These are already drilled. You can see how rusty they are. Here's the other one. Sorry. There's the two of them. So keeping an eye on oil and intercoolers is definitely a good idea.
Here's a case where flat rate sometimes doesn't make sense. Well, I shouldn't say that either, sorry, because flat rate is based on what the dealer basically pays. So the information usually comes straight from the dealer, and it's usually an average number that, in terms of time, that an average technician would take to do a job. So here, broken coil springs, if you do one, it's listed at 0.9 of an hour. If you do both, it's 1.3, something like that. I'm off maybe by 0.2 or whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. Passenger side came out without a hitch, using something similar to what the factory uses. No dropping of suspension is required. All you do is pinch this here. You want minimum of 4 coils to be pinched. It's difficult to do when you have a broken lower link, because this piece drops, so you can't really get your clamp in there. So what you do is you put the 3 bolts, you compress the 3 coils here, and then what I did is I took out the upper control arm bolt here. There's eccentrics on here, so you got to mark them, but it gets an alignment after the fact anyways. The point of the story is passenger side came out nicely, came out, went back in nicely. Driver's side not so much, because this bolt here is seized inside the bushing. The nut came off, and the bolt, I can move it so it's not seized to the outer edge here, but internally the bolt is seized to the metal sleeve that goes in between the bushing, or on the inside of the bushing. So this took quite a bit of fighting. It definitely took more than the 1.2, 1.3 that the labor guide suggests. No, we didn't charge more time. We do stick with the labor guide numbers, but this is just to show you that all these guys working flat rate, when they run into problems, you know, they're guaranteed to lose money. I still get paid my regular hourly salary, and customers happy because they don't have to pay the extra in terms of labor. We stick to what we quoted. So anyways, oh, and also obviously the extra time spent today will make up on a different job when I you know, finish the job quicker and then move on to the next job. And so each form of payment, be it salary or flat rate, has its advantages. Obviously with flat rate you can make way more money if you've got you know, the correct amount of hours billed, etc. If you're in a groove, getting all the nice easy jobs or the big jobs that you know all the shortcuts on. But when you run into something stubborn like this, you know, why penalize the technician? That's actually my point, you know, with flat rate, because guys get screwed over too much. Anyways, that's it. I know I'm not organized, but I know that my duct tape is supposed to be right there, and it was a nice thick roll still. I don't see it anywhere along here. Somebody obviously was here and took it, and nobody wants to admit to it. Duct tape. All I need is duct tape. ...2003 Audi A4, lack of heat complaint. That's the heater core inlets and outlets, and you can see the deposits or the junk right there. So I'm going to try to flush it. I'm going to try to flush it, see if it gets better. Otherwise the whole dash has to come out. Took a bit of doing, but you can see as soon as I turn the garden hose on, I got fluid coming out, and it's a nice strong stream in both directions. Working on a 2008 Audi 2-liter turbo, measuring blocks, just going through them. Measuring block 112. Oh damn, I missed it. Was at 318. I'll show you the picture, or scroll sideways from this video and you'll see the picture. But I was basically just scrolling through the measuring blocks, looking at various data blocks, because the vehicle has a intermittent no start. So I was just checking to see if fuel rail pressure was dropping or whatever, and it's holding steady. But then I went up to I think 120 something, whatever it was. Oh no, 112, and I saw 318. Okay, I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but you know, sometimes I do luck out. This vehicle just came in from another shop, has been at the other shop for over a week. It's a repair to start. I think they recommended a ECM ECU wiring harness. First thing that I like to do is check for power at the alternator plug. You can see it has power right now, but you can also see how corroded that terminal is. And depending on how that terminal was sitting, of course now it's going to have power all the time, but there was no power initially. Oh, there it goes. Did you see it? There's a dead spot here. It flickers. Oh, I just almost had it. Almost had it. That's what she said. There. Oh. Anyways, you get the idea. So there was a bad connection here. There still is. I'm obviously going to replace it. But what happens is that there's two wires here. One is the alternator wire that goes to the starter, which then feeds, once the engine's running, alternator power to the starter and then to the battery. That's for your charging circuit. The other red wire goes along here, goes through this little box here, then it comes up over here to the fuel pump relay and the ECM relay, and it supplies power to terminal 30 on both relays. And first thing I did was, when I didn't have power over here, or when I saw no power over here, I came over here and confirmed there was no power. Obviously there is power now. Long story short, once those relays have power, they're able to energize when the key is turned and the engine started. It took me all but 5 minutes well, to find the problem. Okay, so again, I'm not tooting my own horn. I know I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. There's lots that I don't know, but you know, if you have a wiring diagram, that's all you got to do is check your powers and grounds and you find your faults. This is a common issue. Maybe that's why I know it and go for it right away. But yeah, you know, a week at another shop, and they couldn't find this. In a way, it makes me feel better about my situation, about my lack of confidence. But anyways, this one's alive again for a little while longer. A bit of lifter noise, understandable if the engine hasn't been running for a while. All I needed was a couple of, a new connector, so a couple of wires there. Coworker asked me to get a second opinion, or give him a second opinion on timing belt. This is a City Golf. What year? 2008 or something? Maybe 2008. Doesn't matter. So I said belt looks okay, but it looks original. So then I went and looked at the mileage. It's an old story, I know. There you go. 318. It never ends, it never ends. Watching the rookie when I spotted this. Gotta try it again, sorry. It's barely visible, but I caught it right away. You can sort of see it, 318.
Just got into my car, 10 a.m. Saturday, when I noticed this. Surprised I didn't notice it yesterday.
30, 31.
This is
32,
Alexa counting
30.
to 318. Oh, damn it, she quit again. Alexa, start over.
For that, I recommend setting a timer.
Damn it.